The Knicks are on a 2-game win streak. We might have a potential all-star, and we may even have the Rookie of the Year on our roster. It's a good time to be a Knicks fan. Cue the intro. Hey, what's going on? Quis here from Sports Vibes TV. And in this video, I just want to give my thoughts on this recent Knicks versus Houston Rockets game. Now, the Knicks are playing very well. This is the second blowout win we've had. We won 121-99. And I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing out there from the team, especially the second unit. The second unit is really what I think has carried and has propelled the team in these last 2 wins. You got Immanuel Quickley and you got Derrick Rose out there doing their thing as a backcourt unit. And I know I wasn't a fan of the Derrick Rose trade initially, but none of my fears have materialized as of yet. Even though Derrick Rose was the first guard off the bench and he also played more minutes than Quickley. But when you look at how the team played out there and you saw that Immanuel Quickley, for the most part with that second unit, he was still the one playing on ball. Derrick Rose kind of played off ball and kind of reacted to what IQ was doing out there. But IQ was still able to somewhat orchestrate the offense while not having to worry about getting everybody involved. He had Derrick Rose there beside him to kind of worry about that asset of the game. And IQ was out there looking for a shot and he was making buckets. I got the box score. Let me pull the box score up. Well, let's see what we got going on here. All right, here we go. So let's look at the actual box score. As you can see, Immanuel Quickley was out there doing his thing. 22 points, an efficient 7 of 9 from the field, and 4 of 6 from 3. As usual, he did not miss a free. Well, let me not say as usual and jinx him. He did not miss a free throw, shot 100% from the free throw line. And even though I said he was looking for his own shot primarily, he was still able to get 2 assists out there. So he was doing his thing with that second unit, and he even finished the game out there with Derrick Rose. Elfrid Payton, if you look statistically, Elfrid Payton had a good game as well, but the team just does not operate in the same pace and in the same manner as you see when Immanuel Quickley and Derrick Rose are out there. So look, Elfrid Payton, he had a good game, 7 of 11. I won't say he had a good game. Let me rephrase that. Statistically, he had a decent game. 7 for 11, 1 of 1 from 3, and 3 assists, but he was only +1. Like this starting unit leaves a lot to be desired at times. Things get very stagnant offensively, and then they kind of look for Julius Randle to bail them out. And I'm not a fan of watching that kind of basketball, to be honest with you. I would hope that they would be able to bring in an addition, maybe move Elfrid Payton even further down the bench, because I feel like I'm not saying we definitely can, but I feel like there has to be another option on the market that's better than Elfrid Payton. We don't need anybody out here to be putting up a lot of buckets. We just need somebody to facilitate and unlock some of these other pieces on the team. For example, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is stuck with Elfrid Payton in the starting lineup, and I think Elfrid Payton's poor play, or the way Elfrid Payton kind of runs the offense and the lack of spacing that's out there with Payton is negatively affecting RJ Barrett. Look at RJ Barrett in tonight's game. 2 of 8 from the field, 0 of 1 from the 3-point line, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, which is decent. I would have preferred 4 for 4 like IQ, but compared to last season, RJ Barrett has improved at the free throw line. And he was able to do some other things out there. 5 assists, 4 rebounds. He just wasn't able to get his shot off. He wasn't able to get too many points out there. He only had 7 points. You would like to have seen him score a little bit better, but he's in his sophomore year. He's going to have his ups and downs. There's going to be inconsistencies in his play. We just have to hope that he'll figure it out as the season progresses. Julius Randle, once again, had a very good game in that starting unit. We're lucky we have a player like Julius Randle that can make a lot of difficult shots or in the mid-range and even around in the paint, because that's what you're seeing a lot with that first unit, with the starting lineup. Julius Randle is out there having to score difficult shots, and that's what's helping us keep the team in the game, because we are seeing the second unit is the unit that's really stretching out these leads that we're trying to hold on to with the starting lineup. Like in this game, if I'm not mistaken, when the second unit came in, we were only up about 6 or 7 points. And then within minutes, you saw the second unit stretch out into a double-digit lead. Same thing at the end of the third quarter when Immanuel Quickley came in. I think Immanuel Quickley came in with like a minute and 21 seconds left in the third quarter. And when he came in, he hit 3 straight threes. He hit 2 to end the quarter, and then he hit another one in the beginning to start the fourth quarter. And that's what we need offensively for this team. And when I'm watching the game, sometimes I'm like, yo, Tibbs, this starting unit is not it right now. Can you please inject some instant offense into the lineup? Because we really need it. And you saw, I have my little notepad. I take my notes down when I'm watching the game. And Tibbs called a timeout. I said, in my notepad, I wrote, Tibbs frustrated, calls timeout. Put the second unit in the game now, because we need that injection of scoring, especially with the options that we have with Elfrid Payton out there. So to have IQ and Derrick Rose be able to come into the game and give us that spark is great. Not only is Derrick Rose creating a spark for himself, you're seeing Derrick Rose and Obi start to develop some continuity. That's a word Clyde likes to use often. They finding some continuity out there together, and I'm liking that as well. If Derrick Rose has to be the piece to unlock an Obi Toppin, I can live with it. I'm not going to complain. He's doing what he has to do to help this team win. And as a fan of the team, even though I'm not, head over heels when it comes to the trade, if I see that it's going to benefit the team, then all right, then I'm going to, man up and say, all right, that's the direction the team is going to go. And as long as it's positive, I'll live with it. So to see that Derrick Rose acquisition help both Immanuel Quickley and Obi Toppin, of course, I'm going to be ecstatic as a fan. Do I think this team is now in championship contention mode? No, but it looks like this team is going to remain competitive, and they're going to compete to either get into that play-in game or get into the playoffs outright. And I think that's going to be great for the development of not only IQ and Obi Toppin, but also RJ, if he can get it together and Tibbs gives him more time out there. Because if you look at the way the minutes were divvied up, especially after a back-to-back, well, especially with this being the second game of a back-to-back, you can see nobody really got too many minutes outside of Julius Randle and Nerlens Noel. And you're going to expect Nerlens Noel to have to pick up a larger or heavier workload with Mitchell Robinson being out with that hand injury. But other than that, nobody really had crazy minutes. Bullock had 25 minutes. He was serviceable. 3 of 5 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. So all he took were 3-point shots. I can live with that. And, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, serviceable. All he's going to be out there for really is a 3-and-D. And if he's going to shoot 3 of 5 from the 3-point line every night and play, average or above average defense, then we'll live with it. Like I said, Nerlens Noel was another pleasant surprise. We aren't expecting too many points from the center position. So to see Nerlens Noel go out there, 5 or 6 from the field, and he also had 2 blocks, that was encouraging, especially with the reports now that Mitchell Robinson could be out he will be out 4 to 6 weeks. And if Nerlens Noel can step up and be a starting caliber center in that time period, then things are going to be okay, and we won't have to go out and make drastic moves to bring in a center. Like I was seeing places they want Andre Drummond to come in, and I'm like, okay, you're going to bring Andre Drummond in, and then what happens when Mitch gets healthy? You're going to delegate Mitch back to the bench after he's been doing a serviceable job as the starter. You don't want players to lose their starting spot due to injury. You want them to lose it. Well, you don't want them to lose it, period. But if they lose it, you want it to be because of poor play. So I think that would be a bad sign to the team to go trade for a big name like Andre Drummond and just not reward Mitchell Robinson for the improvements he's shown this year. So to me, that would be a no-go. And with Nerlens Noel playing like he did today, I can live with him being the starting center for now. Once again, I talked about Obi. Kevin Knox. We had a Kevin Knox sighting. And unlike the game last night where Kevin Knox came in garbage time, at least this time, Kevin Knox came in and he actually made an impact. You know, I think in his first minute on the court, he had an interception on a bad pass. You know, got the ball to Immanuel Quickley, and Quickley doing what he should do as a point guard. He rewarded Kevin Knox for the great defense on the other side of the court, and he threw him a nice alley-oop. And to see Kevin Knox have that level of exuberance and to see him actually be out there and make plays like that, I think it's going to be better for him moving forward, and hopefully he can carry some of that confidence, even though it's in a small amount of time on the court. At least he's seeing some gains, some benefits from committing to playing sound defense, and then seeing himself be rewarded on the other end with an alley-oop. And also, we saw Kevin Knox, you know, earlier in the season, I was saying Kevin Knox and Obi have started to show a little bit of chemistry on the court. They were working out together in the offseason, and we're seeing some of that in the limited amount of time we see them on the court together. Kevin Knox had a nice alley-oop highlight pass. Well, it wasn't a highlight pass. It was more so a highlight dunk from Obi, and we saw Obi go up to get that alley-oop, and it was a beautiful play to see. And what was even more, the best part of that moment to me as a Knicks fan is the fact that that moment was between Kevin Knox and Obi Toppin, two players that I think have futures with this team. I'm still holding out hope for Kevin Knox because I think Kevin Knox has a unique skill set. He just has to learn to put it all together. And he's a young player. Hopefully, if we can continue to blow teams out, we'll have more garbage time minutes to allocate to Kevin Knox, and hopefully that'll build up his confidence playing against lesser tier players that, you know, may not be giving it their all in garbage time. So you also saw Austin Rivers sighting. He really didn't do much at all. I mean, and then Pinson came in late in the game too. I think he threw up a 3 and bricked it. But, you know, Derrick Rose, I didn't get into his stats, but he had a very good game statistically. 5 of 11 from the field, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line. Another thing I'm liking with Derrick Rose, he's getting to the line and he's, you know, making his free throws. I think there was one series where he missed like 2 free throws. He missed both free throws, which is bad. But, you know, for the game, he was still 5 of 7, which is reasonable. And 3 assists. So he's also facilitating. Between Derrick Rose and Immanuel Quickley, we had 38 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and we only had 2 turnovers between the two of them. As a team, we only had 7 turnovers, which is great. And there's another stat I want you guys to pay attention to. You guys can fact check me just to make sure I'm right, but I don't think the team has lost a game all season when we've shot over 50% from the field, 40% from 3. So if the Knicks can get this together and get quality looks, make their shots, and continue to play this good defense, keeping teams under 100 points, then the Knicks are going to be able to piece together multiple wins and actually make a legitimate push to maybe the second round. I think if we can build our chemistry up and with good solid coaching, I think we can play above our talent and probably get to like the second round. But we'll make noise in the playoff if we can continue to shoot this well and we can continue to get this great production from the second unit. And if we can, you know, get all-star level production from, oh, look, I'm messing up. Went to the wrong thing. If we can get all-star level production from a Julius Randle. And I know that's a lot of ifs, a whole bunch of ifs. And when you, as a Knicks fan, you don't necessarily expect everything to go your way. In real life, you shouldn't expect everything to go your way. So do I think all those ifs I mentioned or laid out are going to happen? No, but as a Knicks fan, I'm hopeful, and I'm going to sit down with you guys and watch every game and continue to cheer on this team because they're going out there and they're playing hard for us every night. So you guys, let me know what you thought about tonight's game down in the comments. Once again, I'm Quis, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.